All right.
Key about the bullshit.
Move this back a little bit. We just got, and we were just talking about just a second ago, we just got a new calendar, that is split, the academic calendar is splitting up registration a little bit. So, April 1st is when we're going to register for summer classes. May 1st is when the first day that you can register for fall classes. Register for fall classes. So, April 1st is the first day that you can register for summer. May 1st is the first day that you can register for fall. So they just split it up and sent us a new calendar, I want to say yesterday. So that's a little change. 2 weeks from today, you have your scheduled assessment so that we can start looking at that. Let's see, do we want to talk about Module 3 today? Let's finish up Module 3 and then I'll talk about registration on Monday. We have 10 pages left to finish Module 3. Where we left off, looks like I have a little bit more to talk about with the units and stuff. Let me slide this over just a hair. And let me snag this stuff. Now, most of you, and we talked about like the inchworm and your foot. We did a couple of those last time. We're going to do some more today. The meter, these are the lengths. How to measure length. I don't know, did I hit the record button? I don't know if I hit record or not. We have several ways of measuring length. Yeah, I did. We have several ways of measuring length. Last time we talked about the inch, we talked about the foot, we talked about the mile. Today we're going to talk about in metrics. We're going to talk about the meter, the centimeter, the millimeter, and the kilometer. Now, a meter stick is just like a yardstick. So when your teacher used to walk around with that stick in her hand, that was a meter stick or a yardstick. They're almost identically the same. And it goes from the floor to the doorknob. So I told you wherever that doorknob is to the floor, that's a meter stick or a yardstick. Centimeter, the width of your pinky, how wide your pinky is, that's a centimeter. So from side to side, I know some people have skinny fingers and some people have fat fingers, but that's about the width of a centimeter. Millimeter, if you use a mechanical pencil, it'll say 0.7 or 0.9 or 0.5 mm's. Those are millimeters. So if you take your lead out, the width of the lead, that is in terms of millimeters. So millimeters is T90. Kilometers. You've heard people run a 5K. Kilometers are in terms of half miles. So kilometers are like when you get in your car and go somewhere. Capacity. Capacity is going to be your liquid. How much something holds liquid-wise. Now, before when we were doing liquid, we did cups and gallons and quarts and ounces. Now we're talking about liters and milliliters. A liter of Pepsi, we know what a 2 liter of Pepsi looks like, and I think at gas stations now they even sell a liter of Pepsi. A milliliter is like a eyedropper. So if you have, if you're putting eye droplets in, that eye droplet holds a milliliter. Or if you're a drinker, the shot glass. Or if you take cough medicine, the thing on top of the cough medicine, the little cup on top of the cough medicine, that's in terms of milliliter. Or if you have a child and you have to suck up the medicine and it in their mouth, that is in terms of mLs or milliliters. Okay? Weight, how much something weighs, grams and kilograms. Hopefully we only hear this on the news or on Cops Most Wanted or whatever. Grams, if you have a gram of drugs, that is the weight of a paper clip. So if somebody says, I was caught with 3 grams of whatever, that is 3 paper clips. That's the weight of 3 paper clips. Kilograms, 1 kilogram is about 2 pounds, so a small bag of sugar. So if somebody says, I had 5 kilograms of whatever, that's like 5 small bags of sugar. So we need to know what those words mean. So, if we have, Carmen drank about 2 milliliters or 2 liters of water. Liters, because milliliters are the little shot glasses. So liters is the one that makes the most sense. You're going to drink a lot of water. At the fair, Hong saw a horse with a mass of about 700 grams or 700 kilograms. So if I put a horse over here, am I going to put 700 paper clips or 700 bags of sugar? Which one's going to even out with the horse? 700 bags of sugar, which is going to be my kilograms. Dan's house is about 3 meters, centimeters, millimeters, or kilometers from school. So, does Dan live about 3 meter sticks? So if I put 3 of these on top of each other, there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So that means Dan would live here and the school would be there. That would be meters. Centimeters would be 3 pinkies. That means he lives this far from school. Millimeters would be 3 pieces of lead. And kilometers would be like 3 half miles. So which one is going to be the most appropriate answer? The km, the kilometers. So they want you to know what those words mean. We good? All right. Now, let me open another page, and we don't need to call out high grades, but we need to put our phones down and we need to pay attention to what I'm doing in here. So, last time we learned about something-somethings, okay? We learned about things like 45 feet equals blank yards. This was a something-something. We went to our formula sheet. Let me pull up my formula sheet real quick. Resources. Because on the test, y'all, you are having a test in 2 weeks. You're going to need to know on the test, is this a something-something or is this a King Henry? And I want you to know the difference. So I'm pulling up my formula sheet real quick. Last time we talked about something-somethings. Here are our list of something-somethings. So let me snag them and pull them over. Grab a few. So, last time we talked about something-somethings. Remember I said you write down what you're given and you multiply it by a little something-something. The units that you're given, you put on the bottom. The units that you're trying to find, you put on the top. So we're going to put feet on the bottom and yards on the top. Then we come over here and we try to find that something-something. So what 2 words am I trying to find in the same sentence? Yards and feet. So I come over here and I find yards and feet. I write 1 next to the yard and I write 3 next to the feet. I draw my line and I look at my numbers. I have 1 number in the top and 1 number in the bottom. So what am I going to do to those 2 numbers? Divide. 45 divided by 3 is 15. My words on the top and the bottom cancel, so that leaves me with 15 yards. This is what I call a something-something problem. We did this last time. Let me do 1 more to make sure we have it in our brain. If you were dating somebody online, and on their online profile, it says that they weigh 97.8 kilograms. and you're getting ready to meet them, and you want to know, okay, are they going to be fat? Are they going to be skinny? Are they going to be okay? I don't know. I don't know what 97.8 kilograms is. I need to know how many pounds that is. So we need to convert 97.8 kilograms into pounds. So 97.8 kilograms times a little something something. What word goes on the bottom? Kilograms, and we put pounds on the top. And the reason we do that is because we want those to cancel. We come over here and we are going to look for pounds and kilograms written together. Right there. 1 goes beside the word kilogram. 2.2 goes beside the word pound. We draw our line and we look at our numbers. This time, both of my numbers are upstairs. So if they're both upstairs, what am I going to do? We are going to multiply. So, 97.8 times 2.2, I am going to meet a man that weighs 215.16 pounds. We good? That's what we did last time. Now we're going to do something that I call King Henry. Okay? These are all something somethings. Now we're going to do King Henry. It is on your formula sheet. Oops, I hit the wrong button. It is on your formula sheet, and it's right here. Right here. So the something somethings are over here. King Henry is over here. Now, the reason I call it King Henry. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. It is a way to help us remember the order of those letters, okay? It's just a common way, like PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. The K stands for kilo. And you'll have this chart, so you don't have to memorize it. So the K stands for kilo. The H stands for hecto. Notice that we have 2 D's. We have a deca and we have a deci. The way that I remember it, the K is near the kilo, the C is near the centi. So this next one is centi, and this one is milli. And my B stands for the basic units. And the basic units are what we just talked about. The basic units are the meter, the liter, and the gram. Now, I didn't do it on this chart, and I'm fixing to write it out, but what we do is we take those basic units and we combine it with everything else. So we're going to do kilometer, kiloliter, kilogram, hectometer, hectoliter, hectogram, decameter, decaliter, decagram, decimeter, deciliter, decigram, centimeter, centiliter, centigram, millimeter, milliliter, milligram. So I'm going to take all those words, those prefixes, and put them with the word in the middle. So it's going to be kilometer, kiloliter, kilogram, hectometer, hectoliter, hectogram, decameter, decaliter, decagram, decimeter, deciliter, decigram, centimeter, centiliter, centigram, millimeter, milliliter, milligram. So on your chart, I didn't write all of that out, but that's really what you're doing. Now, notice that everything over here is either double or triple letters. In the middle is your single letters. So what I tend to say, because this will get people in trouble, so I always say, I have a different color. All the single ladies are always in the middle of the dance floor. So if it's a single letter, meter, liter, gram, It is in the center of the chart, the center of the dance floor. If it's a double letter or a triple letter, it is off to the side. And the main two that you're going to get confused on is the millimeter and the meter. You're going to see that M right there, and you're going to say, oh, there's the meter, here's the meter, that's the millimeter over here. Okay? Now, let's look at an example. These are so much easier than the something-somethings. If I give you 4.2 grams equals how many centigrams? 4.2 grams equals how many centigrams? We start at gram. Do y'all see that's a single lady? Here's gram. We head towards centigram. That is 2 jumps to the right. You pick up your decimal and you move 2 jumps to the right. Your answer is 420. To the right, to the right. Let's do another one. 4.96. We are going from milliliters to decaliters. Where am I going to start?
With the same leaders.
Where?
With the same leaders. Then move it to the left.
Milliliters? And where am I headed to?
To the wall to the left.
And how many jumps is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps to the left. So I pick up my decimal and I move it 4 jumps to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So my decimal's no longer there, it is now there. And anywhere that I did not have numbers, I put zeros in. So my answer is going to be 0.002496. Now, let me pull it down and just show you the chart, which is how you're going to be seeing it on the test. Or on the homework or wherever. So if I have 7 meters equals how many millimeters? Which letter do I start with? Which is where in the chart? Meter is a single lady. It's a single letter, so we are starting here. And I am headed, how many, which way?
To the right.
How many?
2.
1, 2, 3 to the right. Now, 7 does not have a decimal. So where is the decimal understood to be if it doesn't have one? If you have $7, where's the decimal understood to be? Behind it. And I, 1, 2, 3, Simon says, so what is my answer going to be? Alex is going to explain this 10 times harder. We to the left, I mean, Beyonce was talking about this. To the left, She's talking about King Henry. All right, let's do some of these with haste. All right, now, you know that it's a King Henry problem because you've got to know in your head, is it a something or is it a King Henry? It is only a King Henry if you're going from some kind of meter to some kind of meter. Some kind of liter to some kind of liter, or some kind of gram to some kind of gram. That makes it a King Henry. So if it's a kilogram to a milligram, a centiliter to a kiloliter. So if it's some kind of liter to some kind of liter, some kind of meter to some kind of meter, some kind of gram to some kind of gram, that's a King Henry. So for this first problem, we are going from 5,000 millimeters to how many meters? Millimeter to meter. That is screaming King Henry. How many which way? Millimeter is here. Meter is a single lady. 1, 2, 3 to the left. Where did my decimal start off if it doesn't have one? At the end. To the left, to the left, to the left. What is my final answer going to be? 5. Let's look at another one. That one's easy. Let me go to. Each day he swims 750 meters. How many kilometers does he swim? So we're changing 750 meters into kilometers. 750 meters into kilometers. How many which way? We're starting where? In the middle. That's a single lady. How many which way? To the left, to the left, to the left. That is 3 to the left. Where does the decimal start? At the end, if it doesn't have one. To the left, to the left, to the left. My decimal's no longer here, it is now here. I only add zeros if I run out of numbers. There's my answer. All right, now, this one's going to get just a little bit harder. You just got to make sure you read the problem. It's not that bad. It says an athlete eats 45 grams of protein per day. How much protein will she eat in 17 days? Write your answer in kilograms. So in one day she eats 45 grams. I want to know how much she eats in 17 days, but I want my answer in kilograms. How would y'all do that? Okay, I have some people who are saying change it to kilograms first. How many which way? Gram to kilogram. 3 to the left. So if it's 45 and then I go 3 to the left, what is my answer going to be? Now, that represents one day. But I want to know how much she eats in 17 days. So I'm going to multiply that answer by 17. So I'm going to do 0.045 times 17 to get my final answer. Now, that's not the only way to do it. I have some people who say, I'm going to do 45 times 17. So if you do 45 grams times 17 days, that's how many grams. Well, then I have to turn those grams into kilograms. How do I get from grams to kilograms? How many which way? Grams to kilograms.
Tree.
To the left. So if it was here and I go 3 to the left, what is my answer going to be?
Same as before.
Same as before. So you can either convert and multiply, or you can multiply and then convert. It does not matter. All right. For this one, you have and we did one like this with the somethings. You have a rectangular board that's and let me do that one because I think y'all went brain dead on me right when I did that one last time.
You did it last time?
I did a similar one like this last time. It says find the area in, let's do square feet. And let's say that this is 4 yards by 3 yards. And it says find the area in square feet. Well, because it's a rectangle, how do you find the area of a rectangle? Length times width. Well, the problem is it wants it in feet. So we've got to do blank feet times blank feet, which means I have to convert this into feet and I have to convert this into feet before I can multiply my feet times my feet. You with me? Yeah or no?
I'm with you.
So, is this a King Henry or is this a something? So I'm going to do 4 yards times, I put my yards in the bottom and my feet in the top. I go to my formula sheet. My formula sheet says that 1 yard is 3 feet. I come over here. I put my yards in the bottom and my feet in the top. 1 yard is 3 feet. I draw my lines and I look at my numbers. Both of my numbers are in the top. Does that mean I'm going to multiply or divide the numbers? So this is going to be 12 and this is going to be 9. What are the units on those answers going to be? This is going to be feet and this is going to be feet. So what we just did is we found out the numbers that we're going to plug in. So it's going to be 12 feet times 9 feet, which is 108. And because you're doing area, your units are going to be square feet. So you had to turn your length and width from yards and yards to feet and feet before you could find the area. So that was like a geometry and a measurement problem. Now, this one is very similar. This one says you have a 1.2 meter.
Wow.
You have a 1.2 meter by a 0.9 meter. And you want to know the area, but you want to know it in terms of millimeters. So we still are doing the length and the width, but we need blank millimeter by blank millimeter. And these are not in millimeters. So I've got to convert that to millimeter. And I've got to convert that to millimeter so that then I can find the area. So if I'm converting from meter to millimeter, is that a something something or a King Henry? That's an old King Henry. So let me copy and let me pull over so you can see the chart. I am going from meter, which is a single lady, to millimeter, 3 to the right. So if it was 1.2 and I'm going 1, 2, 3 to the right, what's it going to be? I put those 2 zeros in those 2 holes. So my first side is going to be 1200. Now this one's the same thing, meter to millimeter. So that's 3 to the right. So it was 0.9, 1, 2, 3 to the right. I put zeros where those are. So that one's going to be 900. Now that I've plugged in, I can find out what my area is going to be. It's going to be 1200 times 900. There is my area. What kind of units does area have?
Square.
Square. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my answer. So you had to do an area problem and you had to do a conversion problem all in one. It's combining 2 things. All right, degrees. I'm gonna do 2 of these. Let me slide these down. Y'all, I love getting stopped at down at the downtown where there's a bank and there's a temperature. You know the banks that have the clock with the temperature? I love getting stopped because I like to pull out my cell phone and go to my graphic calculator and make sure that it's correct temperature. Do y'all do that?
No.
All the time. All the time.
All the time. I love it. Because sometimes they're not right. So on your formula sheet, you actually have these formulas. They're next to the something-somethings. They're right here. The little temperature formulas, they're right here. So you don't have to memorize those. You just have to know where they are. And usually they give them to you in these problems. So you are going to use, if you're trying to find C, you use the C equals. If you are trying to find F, you use the F equals. So according to what you're trying to find. So in this problem, it says 38 degrees is what in Celsius? So 38 degrees Fahrenheit is blank degrees Celsius. So are we gonna use the C equals or are we gonna use the F equals? What are we trying to find? We're trying to find C, so we're gonna use the C equals. So the formula is C equals 5/9 parentheses F minus 32. We take our F value and we plug in for F. So it's gonna be 5/9 parentheses